Hello everyone, so I wanted to make a video on this. It is my new car, which is a Mercedes-Benz C63s. So I ended up selling my 911 because it was really uncomfortable to live with and it started to get really annoying. I had it for about 6 months and I just started to get really annoyed. The ride itself was really not the most comfortable thing in the world. Also, there was no space to put anything. Like, sure, you had the bonnet, but personally I didn't like using it because one, it was really small. Two, it just brought a lot of attention and I tried to be a little bit more low-key. I love cars and I like driving fast cars because I love cars, not because I necessarily want attention. And I hated going anywhere and then having to go ahead and open up my bonnet so that I could put stuff in. So we went with the Mercedes because it's still a really comfortable, luxurious car and it's still really quick in a straight line. So it's best of both worlds. We can still have a fun car to drive that looks good and also very comfortable car. I decided to go with the Cabriolet because I did like having a convertible. I thought I was a coupe guy, but I like having a convertible. This is my favorite angle. I decided to go with a 2017. I do like the body style of the newer one. So we have a grille, but the newer ones have a better transmission, but they don't sound as good as the 2017 or the point ones. One thing that is annoying about this car is this right here. If you want to roll with the top down, that has to be down. And it takes away a lot of space. And there isn't a way to put that up or down and besides coming out and doing it manually. So that to me is really annoying. I wish that you could be inside the car, click a button. That way the top could come up or down. And if you're traveling, it sucks because you can't be rolling with the top down because you need the space for your luggage. So that's one of my gripes. Also, the brakes are really loud and annoying. I don't know why. From my experience, when it needs brakes to be changed, it'll go ahead and throw a dash in there saying like, hey, it's time to change the brakes. And there's no lights on, but they squeal a lot. And I don't know if it's because the brakes themselves are huge and they're also 3 piston calipers. But that is really annoying. But other than that, the vehicle itself is great. I absolutely love this car. Show you guys the interior. So I went with the red interior. And one of the nice things about this car as well is that it is relatively comfortable in the back seat. So it is the same size as the sedan. Okay, but it's only 2 doors. And it's not like the 911 where the back seats are unusable. As you can see, I still have some space. It's not the most snug place, but I can at least sit down in the seats. Granted, I am not the biggest guy ever. One thing that does kind of suck is that it's only a 4-seater. So as you can see in the middle here, you got these cup holders. So you can only really fit 2 people back here. Where in the sedan, you could go ahead and fit 3 people in the back. But again, you shouldn't buy a coupe if that is important, but it's nice to know that if you have back seats, they're there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get inside the car. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on so that you guys can hear the engine. So one of the big things that made me go with this car is just the sound of the engine. And I like personally that it has a valved exhaust. So if I want to be low key and I want to drive, I'll show you guys when we go ahead and take it out for a drive. I can still be quiet and comfortable. And when I want to be loud, we can do that. I'm going to rev the engine right now. So you can see it still sounds good. But watch what happens when I put it in Sport Plus, okay? You see? That tone of the engine is what made me go ahead and stay in the car. So we're going to switch it back to comfort. Okay? And we're gonna drive it so you guys can see that you can still daily this car and it'll still be relatively quiet. And if you want to go ahead and drive quickly, you can still do that and you can still hear the engine. See? Going over bumps. There isn't really a lot of noise. So that's what made me like this car, right? It's like I could still have a nice, comfortable car. You can still have a conversation. The sound system sounds great. Still looks really good. People still think it's a nice car, right? I am a little bit younger, and sometimes for work people need to take me serious because I'm young. So having a nice car like this definitely helps out. But it's not too loud. I feel like if I were to take the badges off this vehicle, no one would know that it's an AMG. So those are personally the types of vehicles that I like to drive. So once we get over here, I'll go ahead and change this over to Sport Plus so that you guys can go ahead and hear the engine. You do have to be kind of careful when you drive in Sport Plus because the tires will break loose because it has a lot of horsepower, and it's a lot of horsepower in the lower end, right? Like you hit max boost at like 2,000 RPMs and then it just kind of hauls from there. That is one thing about this car that's a little scary sometimes, is that this thing is quick. It wants to go and go and go. Where the 911 felt really quick in corners, this one feels really fast in a straight line, but it doesn't feel like it wants to slow down. It feels like it wants to keep going. So I'm gonna step on it a little. See? Oh, and then those downshifts, it does the car automatically when it's in Sport Plus. I'm not the one that's going in there and making it do that. It just does it automatically. So it is one of the things that I like about the car. It sounds absolutely great. We are gonna go ahead and put the top down so you guys can see why I like this car. And hopefully the audio doesn't get too loud. Okay, I do wish that it was only one button, because in order to put the windows up, I have to use a separate button, which is really annoying. I have to use this button right here to make the windows go up. And then it has this thing here so that we could put on, that'll make this thingy go up to go ahead and break the wind. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drive it. So I went with a convertible so that I still can enjoy the nice beautiful weather, but also I can hear that engine. That's what made me go with this car. And once we go ahead and get on the highway over here, I'll go ahead and do a pull so that you guys can hear the vehicle. You can see why I fell in love with this car. I thought that I'd be missing my 911 a lot more, but I'm honestly not. It doesn't feel like a downgrade. That's one thing that I love about Mercedes. It's just like the quality of the interior. Everything's leather, nice. You know, it does feel like a very premium luxury car. You can tell that this one's a little bit dated compared to the new ones, because the new ones have that giant screen with the infotainment. But as far as like the materials themselves go, really good. One of the things that I love is that these buttons are made out of metal. It does suck in when it's hot, but my car is garage, so I don't really run into that problem too often. So see, you guys can kind of hear the brakes. I don't know if they need to be replaced or not. I took it to Mercedes and they're like, it's fine. So yeah, the car itself is very quick. The brakes themselves are really great. The seatbelt right now just kind of hugged me, because when it goes, it goes. You know? But it's still a comfortable car. It doesn't have to be too wild, you know? I personally just kind of drive it about, I mostly just step on the gas like that, just to hear the little cracks and pops, and that's really about it. I don't really drive too crazy. It does waste a lot of gas though. It says that I get 18 miles for the gallon, but I don't. I think I get probably closer to like 14, and you do have to use premium, which is not the cheapest. I have to fill up this car literally every 2 or 3 days. And I don't really drive much. I work remotely, so I don't even drive to the office. If you did have to daily this car and you live somewhere like California where gas is like $6, you're easily going to be spending $400 to $500 a month on gasoline alone. But where I live, gas is not that expensive, and from where I'm coming from, it's not really that bad of a deal. You know, it's like the 911 didn't get the nicest gas mileage as is. And all my entire life, all I've owned has been sports cars. I have never had a car that's not rear-wheel drive or that doesn't waste a lot of gas. So I'm just kind of used to it. But if you're going from a C300 to a C63, you're definitely going to go ahead and feel the difference in gas prices. Again, do a pull. How can you not love that sound? Like, seriously, it is one of the... Oh my god. And that's stock from the factory. The new ones, they don't do the pops. The engine itself will sound good, but it doesn't do the pops. And then right here, look, when we're slowing down. Oh, love that. Love, 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 love. We'll go ahead and change it over to comfort because I felt like I didn't really do too much driving in comfort to show you guys that you could still daily drive it and be low key. And that's one of the things that I like about the car as well, is that when you're driving around and you're hooning and making all these noises, no one thinks it's you. No one looks at this car and says, you know what, it's that Mercedes over there that's being obnoxious and making a bunch of noises. Everyone thinks that you're just a nice, stand-abiding citizen, just minding his own business. No one thinks that you're the one that's making all the pops and bangs. See, and it's this that made me get this car. The 911 was great. It sounded amazing. It handled really good. But in the comfort side of things, it was absolutely terrible. And dailying it really sucked. Where this car, on the other hand, could be really comfortable. Could be really low key. If you want to drive quickly, you can. You don't have to. You could be a little bit more subtle. So I personally just love having that dual flexibility on the vehicle. And I actually got a really good deal on this as well. Yeah, this car actually ended up being cheaper than my 911. So I ended up just selling that and buying this. One thing that does kind of, it's not the greatest, is that the insurance on it is a lot more expensive. It's like $250, which might not sound like a lot, but it's $100 more than I was paying for the 911 and a Macan together. So for a Macan and a 911, I was paying $146, and I'm paying $250 just for this car by itself. Granted, it is a newer car, but I do think it's quite a bit more, and just the price of gasoline. Other than that, really good car, really comfortable. I do wish I had the different screen. The newer one, I did go drive a brand new Mercedes. I bought a C43. The interior quality on that car was absolutely amazing. I love the way the interior looked. But when I was driving it, it just felt really slow and really clunky. And I just personally didn't really like it. That's why I decided to go with the big boy and get the 63. I heard that the 63 handles really good, but it's not it for me. I need power, at least a V6 with 2 turbos, but I'm not going to complain over a twin turbo V8. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy, and if you guys want to see more videos, let me know and we'll kind of go from there.